Do you believe the school board should debate disagreements openly during meetings, or should they present a united front publicly? And we will start with Josh.
There are, guidelines and rules of what we are allowed to discuss open and what has to be discussed in executive session. I will say that, yes, we always do seem to come together in our board meetings, but we are asking a lot of questions and we are going back and forth and spending a lot of time discussing these issues. Steve and I a lot of times do not, agree, but it's always respecting each other and bringing up, questions that, our community would be asking. We are representing them. So disagreement is part of being on the board and making sure we ask all the right questions. But in the end, we typically do what's in the best interest of the kids and the district.
Steve?
I get this question a lot, and people will say to me, how is it you people, meaning the board, always have 5-0 votes? And my answer is a pretty standard answer. Are you a parent? Typically they're parents because they're asking me Board of Education questions. Their answer is yes. I say, if you think that your child should be allowed to do something, but your spouse doesn't, does it benefit you if your spouse knows that it's a house divided? We have a superintendent and treasurer that aren't going to bring to us things that they do not think are appropriate for our children and our community. And so there are times, yes, that we may not absolutely agree, but again, I defer to their expertise. And if it's a 3-2 vote or a 4-1 vote or a 5-0 vote, let's look at the three options. A 3-2 vote if we're discussing something, a policy that teachers have to implement. What does it say to the students and to the teachers if they see that the board doesn't absolutely believe this policy? If it's a 4-1 vote, what does it say to the community and to the teachers and to the students if the board doesn't absolutely believe this policy? If it's a 5-0 vote, it says to them, everybody believes this is in the best interest of our students, our schools, and our community.
Okay, Josh, you want to follow up on that?
I just will say I agree with that. If we are 4-1 and I'm that one, who doesn't agree with it, it's going to look bad for me against, teachers or students. And we do discuss that and have to always come together in the end.
Are these discussions public, or do you talk in private or on the phone with each other?
Sometimes. Typically, they're executive session topics.
Well, if
but
it's
there
not
have
an
been
executive
times,
session.
With presentations where we have been very divided. And a perfect example was the consolidation presentation last year. I was openly, I'm not for this. And I didn't have all the facts, but, at that time, I was really the only one who had said, I don't agree.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a topic in the last 3.5 years that we've been on the board, 4 years, that we've disagreed on that was not something that could only be discussed in executive session. I can't think of a topic.
Okay.
So if we have these conversations, it only is an executive session.
Okay.
And as he said, the consolidation conversation we had last fall in September, I believe, when they presented the initial idea, Josh was opposed to it. And he voiced it at the table and said, look, I have my concerns. Here are some of my concerns. And we're a year gone from that. There's been no further conversation because there's other things being done. We're having another presentation, but there won't be a vote on it for some time, I imagine. And at that point, the administrative team will present us with our options and we'll vote.
Okay.